What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here, and welcome to today's Clash of Clans video featuring some top tips for the Town Hall 10 LavaLoon. How exactly do you deploy your balloons? What kind of strategies do you want to be coming in with initially in order to get the 3 stars? If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel for all of my Clash of Clans content. On this first attack, we have already taken out the sections of the base in terms of a kill squad. Now the LavaLoon section. Haste spells come down initially. Now that's very important. As your lava hounds pump forward and leave your balloons vulnerable, you want them to get into them defenses. Now it's also a secondary objective there of getting the defenses down to protect the lava hounds. We then have a whole concoction of spells over the top of the queen here because she will take down your balloons very fast. Now it's not too bad if she takes down the lava hounds. In fact, you want them to pop, but in this case the rage spell and the skeleton spell helps to take her down. Now you will see how balloons came in from the left hand side of the base. That basically helped to merge the balloons together in the middle so that you had them all concentrated in one section. Then they can move through the base. You can really use the spells as needed. You can see the baby dragon on the left hand side and the minions spreading across the base. Basically helps us to clean up in order to get the 3 stars. Fantastic stuff, and this was from Elite Gaming's CCL victory over King Jeffrey. Didn't get a chance to get these replays out quite as quickly as I normally did, but normally I do try and get these ones to you from all of our league matches. Getting into the second attack, something that we haven't quite seen as much of because of the wall wrecker is them queen walk, queen charge style strategies. But in bases where it's perfectly usable to do it, I'd still recommend getting the queen charge going, because in this one you can see the single target infernos are right the way out of the way. We don't have to worry about the queen getting locked onto by that. It's almost like a Town Hall 9 where the queen charge is so beneficial. As you can see, she's able to get into the base, take down the CC, and also claw her way through the left hand side of the base here. Once she's kind of started getting all of them defenses down, we can obviously then start to reinforce with the rest of the troops. And in terms of the siege machine, you can see that it is a battle blimp for this one. So once we've used the heroes in almost a suicide method, I know we have the queen charge in itself, but basically we're not too bothered whether the king goes down at this point. In comes the LavaLoon, and the battle blimp is going to be used as a lava hound. Now notice how quickly DJ has the balloons coming in here to try and protect his own heroes, and in fact the king stays up. The queen is the one that goes down because the healer's switched. However, he can still clean up. As the balloons come around the outside of the base, the ones that he did want to come into the east kind of got distracted because of that Tesla. It's a fresh hit, but honestly he's got so many balloons to come through the base, and that was all set up because of the queen charge. It meant that he took out that entire left section of the base, took out some of the key objectives that you would want to, and then basically the balloons had a nice easy path down the bottom. So even though it's a fresh hit and his balloons skewed a little bit, really didn't matter because he was so efficient in the initial stages. Then you can see how them extra troops that he has able to use on cleanup, and that's one thing, guys, that take a couple of extra troops. Let's say he needed to use them. There's a couple of traps that went off before that queen charge. He could still use them, but then if you don't need them, don't use them. You can then use them in cleanup. Onto the next attack, you can see again the battle blimp getting used on this one, and check out how the base is so clumped together. That can often mean that if you can get the balloons into the base itself, they can crush that base. Once you've got the spell over the top of them defenses, there's not too much going to stop the balloons. They're very powerful when they can get on top of the balloons. We're really just using the heroes in a sui method to take out the Tesla farm at the bottom here, get the CC down as well, even though it wouldn't have mattered massively against the balloons. There's only really that baby dragon that could have done any damage. But then at that point, once you can get the balloons on top of defenses, you know they get that first bomb down very quickly, that means that if you can get them onto the defenses quickly, they're very, very deadly. And look at how close together they are. So we're really just going to put haste spells right across the base here, blast the balloons on top. But obviously, we've still got the queen in the base. Now, instead of going through a thick area of defenses and really having a tough funnel in order to take her out, we actually just have that skeleton spell ready for the queen. In comes the battle blimp, acting as a lava hound in itself, and then out pops them balloons. Again, I've said it so many times, you can use a few different strategies with that. Most commonly, you're probably going to just reinforce your balloons, and it means you can dump a set of balloons onto some defenses in themselves, but you can get very clever with it as well. You can see that the skeleton spell does its job in terms of taking down the queen. Obviously the king we're not really bothered about, he's not going to be able to attack our balloons, it really is the queen you need down. Rage spell could have helped the skeletons a little bit better, but down to the final defenses here, the haste spells are what power the balloons through this base. We didn't really need a lot of rage spells because the balloons are so deadly in themselves and they were going to get on top of them defenses, so the haste spells basically got the balloons on top of the defenses very quickly with the base being condensed like that. And down it goes. Very, very nice attack, that one. We have one more for you guys before we do indeed wrap up this video. And again, Elite Gaming getting the victory on this one. If you do want to join Elite Gaming, you can find in the description of my video, or likewise just go to the Elite Gaming clan, and in the description we've always got the clan description there, the Discord, whatever you need at that present time, whatever we're recruiting, it's always going to be in that clan description. On to the final attack. Blue Penguin, an absolute beast in this war, getting 6 packs like no other, but I really like how he tackles this base in itself. Notice this little section at the bottom. You do see this in bases every now and again where they have that kind of separate base, if you will, in themselves. Takes a golem to come into that area. Again, doesn't really need a siege machine, there's not a lot of defenses there, we'd almost be wasting it in itself. Opts for the golem and then uses the battle blimp to control the balloons into the base itself later on. Once we've got the enemy queen down, as long as we take that section down in terms of defenses, that expo is basically the final thing we need down, we can then control the pathing of the balloons around the base, and it's very easy to do that once that defense is down. You've obviously then got the perfect ability to use, you know, that semicircle motion, clockwise motion around the base. The queen's well protected now at the bottom of the base. King is used a little bit suicide method, if you will, and then in comes the haste spells ready for the balloons to come through. We obviously want them in before the queen gets in range of that single inferno, so down they come. Lava hounds really just spreading around, and obviously we've got the haste spells in ready. This is sometimes what people will do, and you really want to do it if there's a lot of defenses. If your lava hounds are going to take a lot of damage and your balloons are going to take a little bit of time to take down the defenses that are there. There was lots of defenses there and you need the balloons to take that down ASAP. And again, because he had that massive spread up to the north of the base, look at how concentrated they've moved through the base itself. Basically beelined right across to that other single target inferno and towards the end of the base. Absolutely nothing now going to stop these balloons. Few point defense on the back end, but too many balloons, no splash damage. Down they go, plenty of minions and lava pups moving around the base. That is going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope that has helped you out with the Town Hall 10 LavaLoon. Plenty more Clash of Clans videos to come, plenty more from Elite Gaming, but until next time, peace out, guys.